Hello. Today we're doing something a little different. I got some stuff off Facebook and I want to show it off. I've been really excited about this for a few days now, and it arrived yesterday. I wanted to do something big with it, but it was too busy a day and I just needed to open them, so I'm going to do it now. The setup's a little hasty. Upstairs vacuuming, the people across the fence are repainting, so we've got a cherry picker going off. Hopefully you don't hear any of it. Because I'm just so excited to talk about these lenses. So I didn't get just the one lens. I didn't get two lenses. I got 8 lenses here, and I sort of want to give some context, I suppose, before we get into it. I've been into photography for about 2 months now, since coming in to access a DSLR camera, and it's been a ton of fun, and I've sort of dived fully into it. I haven't wanted to spend too much money with it, but I've been looking at it for every opportunity to get new things, experiment with new things. And a couple of months ago, I saw a Canon 50mm 1.4 worth about 400-500 bucks that was being sold as spares. It had been dropped, and the glass had all survived, but the aperture mechanism was busted. So it was 40 bucks as scrap, basically. And I desperately wanted to try to fix it, because not only have I been really excited to open up a lens, I also wanted to save a shit ton of money by being able to rescue a piece of equipment like that. Unfortunately, it being a very modern lens with the electronic components and things, it was just too risky to replace. Too risky to pick up and have to risk replacing components. And having never opened up a lens before, it was a very high stakes endeavor. So I was talked out of it, and the lens was gone within a couple of hours, because it was that big a bargain to someone who knew what they were doing. So ever since then, I've been yearning to learn that skill, so perhaps I am capable of jumping on board those sorts of opportunities. So I saw this guy on Facebook, this old bloke, selling a whole bunch of old lenses for 120 bucks. So we have 8 lenses here, and he threw in a bunch of adapters as well and whatnot. And I just think they're awesome, and I wanted to show you each of the lenses. So not the most interesting video. If you're not interested in looking at a bunch of old lenses, this isn't for you. But if you want to just geek out over some old glass, let's do it. So these are all, when I say old, they're old as fuck. The guy called them legacy, but they're all from the 70s and maybe early 80s at the latest. They're all PK mounts, they're all FD mounts. Unfortunately, I don't have any adapters for any of them at the moment. But as we'll talk about as we get into it, I'm going to be opening these all up anyway, and I'm probably going to break a few of them. So I sort of don't want to invest in any adapters until I know what I've got and what's been destroyed. So to start off, what we've got here is one of several lenses that just don't exist online anymore. So this is a Towu 5-star macro lens. I'm looking at the label right now. So it is a 4 aperture 70 to 200 millimeter lens. And as someone who only works with the kit lenses, so all of these, I should say, are telephoto zoom, with the exception of one being a telephoto prime. The lenses I've been investing in so far are all pretty mundane. They're all either the wide 24 millimeter crop or the Nifty 50 that you're currently looking at. So this is the lens that they'll all be judged against. This is the 75 to 300 kit lens that will come with basically any Canon body. So so the big benefit to this one right off the bat just is that constant aperture. This is something that you seem to have to pay quite a bit for on a modern piece of glass. And that constant aperture of 4 at 200 millimeters is pretty good, and a lot of them have that sort of a few of them have that sort of performance, and those are the ones that I'm probably the most interested in holding on to. Because I don't have any adapters, I can't tell you the actual quality of the glass at this point. I'm definitely going to to talk about them more as we go. One thing I learned about these sorts of lenses, these older lenses, is that often this mechanism doesn't hold as they get older. This one's probably the worst of the lot. Some of the other ones are pretty good, but this one, like, if you can't pick it up from the focal grip, otherwise it'll just fall. But I do just want to note just how gorgeous this little diagram is. I've tried really hard to learn how to read it, and I'm still not quite there yet. But we will see. You know, I'll give it a crack. So this one is one of a few that I just could not find on the internet anyway, like anywhere. The closest I could find was a Canon FD lens of the same specs presumably a similar time period. This is presumably a knockoff of the Canon equivalent, and that one is going for $100 right now. This thing is just invisible, so I'm guessing it's not worth much. But you know, it's a macro lens. Surely it's got some value. As far as the state of this particular lens goes, I should have done this before, and I should have taken notes of what everything needed. The reason why they were all so inexpensive is that they all, this is very important. The reason why I was able to get all these lenses so cheap is that they're all refurb lenses. They all have something wrong with them. And the most general issue is fungus. So this one seems pretty good. There's a little bit of garbage on the inside, but it's all right. I don't know if you guys want to see. I'll try to show you the Pentax one, because the Pentax is unbelievable. But yeah, so knockoff macro lens from 30 years ago, probably more actually. It's a relic, and I'm really excited to have a look inside there. This is the Sears? Yes, okay, so this is the Sears lens. So I think the specs are further down, but I've also got them written on the screen. So this is another macro lens. This is a 60-300. This is a more traditional lens. It's not worth a great deal. I was able to find available in the US for $15 US. So yeah, so 60-300 millimeter, 4.5 to 5.6. It is a PK mount, and it is fairly unremarkable as far as these things are concerned. I think it's okay. It's just as bad with the grip. Should I just turn off the monitor just to stop the flickering? I can't see the live view now, but we'll just hope that I keep everything in focus. So I'll just have a quick peek in here. I should have done the work beforehand with these. So there's a bit of crap outside the front element, but right, so yeah, this one has a bit of fog in it around the edges. It's probably still usable, but definitely in need of a bit of a clean. The fact that it's worth not much is probably why this one was thrown in. It's because I probably couldn't be asked to sell it. I'm not sure how these back elements tend to do as far as getting fungus. I've not seen any crap on any of these back elements. I think they're a whole separate compartment, isolated from the elements that actually gather the fungus. But yeah, this one's probably one of the top candidates being opened up because the world will not miss it. It's exciting to have a couple of these lenses that have all the same mechanisms. People went to a lot of effort to make this work, but it's still kind of garbage. Okay, we're back after a little intermission there upstairs. Started drilling in the hallway for whatever reason. So we've got the next lens here. It is a Sigma 75-200 millimeter, 3.5 to 4.5. This is for an FD mount, and I believe the issue this thing had was its aperture was playing up. So yeah, so the aperture in this one is busted. So it's wide open right now, which means it's a little usable. But this will most likely be one that we reserve for learning how to fiddle with the aperture mechanism. So this could be any number of things that's breaking it. It could be something quite simple. It could be something quite serious. And that's part of the excitement, you know, is learning learning how to fiddle with it. So this lens, the cap in the wrong way. This lens, I don't have it in front of me. I think there was a lot of these floating around, and I want to say this one varied quite a bit in price. I think it could be fair to say it's a $20 lens. So does it stand under its own weight? No. Okay, next we've got our only portrait lens of the bunch. It's this little bad boy. So I've never heard of this company before. It is a Astron 35 to 70 millimeter 3.5 to 4.5. Those are very unremarkable specs, if we're honest. The kit lens for portrait, which I haven't used in a couple of months, so we'll just dig it out of the bottom of the bag. This bad boy is better in basically every way. Benefit of this thing is that it can go slightly tighter. It can go up to 70 millimeters. Obviously, its focal range is a little different, but that 3.5, I don't know, like it's not got much against this thing basically. And I believe this one's issue was a bit of fungus, if I remember correctly. I'm looking at it now, it seems pretty clean. Maybe I'm telling lies on the internet. Come on. Yeah, no, actually, no, I'm telling lies. This actually looks like it's in great condition. So I'm not sure why it's here, but I'm happy to have it. This might be one of the lesser candidates for disassembly, just because it is so in such good nick. But there's probably something wrong with it, because otherwise I don't know why it would be in the pile. I had its price written down on the notepad, but I can't remember what it was, so we'll just say that it's not worth much. So my hope with these lenses is to be able to repair them and then ideally resell them. So 120 bucks for 8 lenses. You know, that's I don't want to risk getting the math wrong on that very simple equation. So we won't go there. But some of these lenses, if I'm able to sell them, would pay for the whole box single-handedly. And I got a bunch of adapters in there that are also worth quite a bit. And the guy threw in a lens tool, and this thing alone would have cost us 20 bucks to buy. So it was an incredibly good buy if I play my cards right. That's sort of the crux of it. The thing is, it's very low risk. Like, it was 120 bucks, which is like right on the border. Like for camera stuff, 120 bucks is change. But obviously in reality, there's other things I could have done with it. So moving on anyway. This one here is a Hanamex. It is a 70 to 210 millimeter, 4.5 to 5.6. I think it fancies itself a macro lens. Yep, there it is. And this 4.5 to 5.6 aperture is a recurring number. It is an unremarkable number. So this one doesn't really have a great deal to offer. I think I couldn't find a price for this one either. I think this one is characterized by, but its cap turns off the wrong way. That's like its only claim to fame. So I think that, and this one has a bit of fungus in it. Yep. I'll spare you this particular one, but lots of crap in the element. The back element looks a little misty as well, just looking at it now. So why is my hand shaking so much? Sorry. Yeah. So this one is a bit of a pain in the ass, but what mount's this for again? Hang on, I've got this all on the notepad. I don't think it's on the ring. Yeah, so this is a Nikon AIS mount, and I couldn't find this thing anywhere. I looked at length for this thing, and it's vanished. So most of these are actually made in Japan. So I don't know if these are like knockoffs or if these brands had any presence at the time. I probably could have done more research before either buying the lenses or hitting the record button here, but I'm just too excited, if I'm honest. So Hanamex, if you're around, more power to you. This lens is not that impressive, but it's an artifact. You know, like how many lenses do that? You know, that's just spectacular. You know, can this lens do that? No, no, it can't do that. It turns to the left, as all things should. Okay, so this is the lens that the guy who sold the box to me was the most reluctant to part ways with. This is the Minolta 135mm prime. It is for a micro four thirds mount, and it's in great condition. Everything on it works. There's no fungus. It's just here. So this lens, the price varies wildly depending on who's selling it. I presume this lens in particular, the condition of it is very important. I've seen this lens available in America for like $10. I've seen it going in Germany for $100. There's a lot of variance in the cost of this thing, but it's just beautiful to hold. It looks gorgeous. I'm really excited to play with it. I've seen a full video on how to dismantle this thing, so I know I would be able to if I wanted. This would be one of the better ones to assemble because there is a full guide, but I really don't want to risk breaking it because it's just so exciting. 135mm on a crop lens. Like I don't know what purpose I'd have for a prime lens that long, but you know, let's do it. Let's find out. So that leaves us with just two lenses. We'll start with this one. We'll leave the best till last. So this is another knockoff, I believe. I've never heard of the company behind it. It is a RMC. This shouldn't be hard for me to pronounce. It shouldn't be a problem. Tokina, I believe, is how it's pronounced. I just don't. The paralysis of getting it wrong just stops me from having a crack at it. So so this thing is a 80 to 200mm 4 aperture lens. I think once again this has delusions of being a macro lens. It is for a mount I've never heard of before. It's abbreviated to M42. I don't know if that means, because like people refer to micro four thirds as M43. I don't know if this is like a predecessor to that or what, but there it is. So this one again, you've got that that 4-stop aperture. It's very exciting. The fact that it's available at all focal lengths probably makes it a better. Again, the quality of the glass is something that I can't assess right now. But if, in theory, a lens like this would be something I would go to over the kit lens for photography within that focal range. I'm a big fan of cranking up the aperture whenever I get the opportunity. So these faster lenses definitely appeal to me. This is another one that I just couldn't find anywhere online, so it doesn't really have much. I don't have much to say about it. Quite confident this lens has a decent bit of fungus in it, which is why it was put in the box. And it doesn't actually. Looks damn near perfect. So I don't know what I'm saying. This is a Pentax A lens. It is a constant 4 aperture with, I say 4 aperture, it is a 4-stop 70 to 210mm zoom. And this thing alone right now is worth about $70 US, just to give you an idea. There is a reason why a lens worth that much was just tossed in the box that I bought for $120. And I will show you, because oh my god. So I don't know how visible the front element is, but you can see the back element there is just absolutely fucking disgusting. So that is all fungus back there on that back element. The front element is not much better. Come on. Front element isn't a lot better. It's not overpowering in the same capacity, but boy oh boy, do I have my work cut out for me. So that right there is how a lens like this ends up tossed in a box with a bunch of other knockoffs and things. This lens can pay for basically the whole thing if I can resell it, or if I want to hold on to it for what is a really nice piece of glass by the sounds of it. This was the one lens where I could actually find plenty of people talking about it online. There was plenty of actual demand for this lens on forum boards and things. I couldn't find any information on any on quite a number of these other lenses, whereas this one actually stood out as like a lens that was desirable. So I'm very excited to own this. Don't know if I'll end up reselling it, but I'm going to probably invest in an adapter for it, and once it's clean, and if I don't feel like I have a use for it, I might part ways with it. I think the Minotola Prime might be its only real competitor in this box. I think it'll be one of these two that I'll hold on to, and I'll sell the other. I'm not really a huge fan of zoom lenses. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I really dig the look of this Prime and the other Primes. So unless this is like a really hard to use as a prime lens, I think I'm probably better off keeping 135 than having the flexibility to go up to 210. But you know, it's half a stop. Maybe it's I don't know. Like, it's exciting to have these options and these questions to ask, and especially once they're cleaned out and once I'm playing with them, once they're being mounted on the camera, I can actually see what looks the best. I'm really excited. I'm absolutely gutted right now. So I just finished recording everything and did my conclusion. I got all the lenses out of the bubble wrap and put them on the desk and did my big grandiose spiel, but then I realized I forgot to change the focus back after showing off the crap on the lens. So anyway, whether or not 120 bucks for this plus the adapters he threw in the box, whether or not that's a waste of money really depends on how I use them. If I'm opening them up, if I am learning a new skill, that is something that I think is worth what is ultimately not a great deal of money in photography terms. And in a way, it could be an investment. Like, I could make that 120 bucks back both on selling the lenses, but also on having the confidence to buy and repair a current lens if the time comes. The benefit of these things is that they are all fully mechanical, so there's no electronics to worry about, and as such they are both more complex and more friendly to fiddle with. You know, that is what it is. Not owning a mechanical lens before, there's also going to be a skill to learn in handling something like this on the fly. So fiddling with the settings here, full manual exposures and things. Having a piece of glass that necessitates that is pretty neat. Also means I can't really worry about aperture priority anymore. Actually, no, I think aperture priority might still work with these lenses, because I don't know. Point being, I could probably make 100 bucks, maybe a little bit more, if I clean these all out and just flip them. Probably going to pick one or two pieces of glass to hold on to. Probably going to break another one or two of them. So we'll see. But I will be most likely recording a lot of my fiddling with these things. So I might end up doing something with them. You might see more of them. Or you might see them start mysteriously vanishing from the lineup. In which case, know that I destroyed them. And that I know no remorse. It's a video about lenses. Why are you watching this? Leave. I'm done. What more do I have to say? You know, it's bubble wrap.